Hey YouTube! Alright, so I told you all a while back that I was going to make some more of these polyevolver videos, and I meant it. I did want to wait until I had a kind of setup that I could work with and that I enjoyed, and I think now I've actually got something that you're seeing here that I'm pretty happy with. I've got the sound down with OBS to record everything independently, and so I think it's going to sound and look a lot better. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm basically just going to be making sounds with the polyevolver and walking you through how I make each one of them step by step. So you should be able to recreate these on your own with your own polyevolver, and just kind of a learning process. We're learning how to synthesize on this thing. It's kind of a dark synth in the sense that there's not a ton of info online about it. Came out, I'd say maybe mid 2000s, and because of that, there's not a whole, and it's also a pretty rare synth. So there's just not a ton of info on it and how to use it. So I'm kind of trying to remedy that a little bit by doing these videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to make 5 or 6 sounds, and I'll make sure to walk through it slowly so that you can follow along and make it with your own polyevolver. And it should be a good learning experience. So let's dive into it. I'm going to swing over here to the polyevolver. Get an overhead there. Nice. And this is the sound that we're going to be making today. So I'm just calling it dumpy bass. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else. I feel like the word fat has been used too much to describe bass sounds. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a new init program initialized. So start with the oscillators here. It's generally where I like to start. We're going to use the first 2 oscillators only for this one. Let's go ahead and I like to wiggle the volume knob there and make sure they're both up at full volume. We're going to leave the shape here on sawtooth for both of them, which it should have been on anyway. And we're going to do a little bit of fine tuning here of the frequencies just to detune them a little bit. So I'm going -4 for the top one for oscillator 1 and +4 for oscillator 2. A little bit of movement between the oscillators there. Now we're going to head over to the VCA, the amplifier, and I'm just going to dial these in how I had them. I'm going to go 21 on the attack, decay at 36. Where are we at now? Sustain at 53-ish. And release kind of nice and short at 23. There you go. Cool. Now we're going to head over to our low pass filter section here, and let's dial in some filter to get a little bit of movement when you press the keys down. So we're going to dial in the attack to 20. Again, a nice quick attack. And let's go ahead and we should turn up the envelope amount all the way just so we can hear it. And we're going to go 35 on the decay and sustain at 52, very similar to the ADSR that we used on the VCA. And now when we dial in the frequency, cool. It's a very tech housey bass, something you might hear in like a Dirty Bird song or something like that. Now we're going to swing over to our LFO. We're going to use LFO 1 to modulate the oscillator pitch, all of the pitches. It means 1 and 2, but we'll just set it to all. And what that's going to do is going to create some kind of movement, a little bit of warble, just the tiniest bit, which kind of keeps things sounding interesting and doesn't sound so static. So with the mod 1 source to LFO 1 and destination set to oscillator frequency all. And just dial the amount up to about 1. Again, it's very subtle, but if you turn it up a lot, start getting some crazy stuff. So I just like a little bit of movement. This is a trick that I do for a lot of my synth patches. It just makes it act a little bit more analog-y. And we'll head over to the LFO frequency and make sure we're right about 74, 75, which I think is where it is on the init patch anyway. That's where we're at now. And let's dial in a little bit of noise here. I like a little bit of noise on a lot of my patches. We're going to do maybe 5. Noise gets really, really aggressive really quickly. So yeah, 5 works good. Helps it kind of cut through a little bit, and I think that'll help it sit really nicely in the mix. And let's go ahead and add some output hack, one of my favorite functions of this synth. And let's just dial that up to like 8. Maybe a little bit less. Really start bringing up the noise floor there once you start dialing in the output hack. And what I actually like better than even the output hack is the distortion on this synth. It sounds really good. So I've just got it there at 12. That's pretty much it. That's the Dumpy bass. Good for house tracks, tech house. If you want to get crazy with it while you're playing it back, you can always mess with the resonance and the sustain and stuff. So if I turn up the resonance here on the filter, that would make for a really good kind of breakdown part right before the drop. And you could even do the sustain. I think the sustain, or maybe the decay. Maybe more the decay. No, maybe not. Release. Let's try release. That was both. That was both the release and the resonance. So there you go. That is Dumpy bass, and we'll head over to the next one here.